All right, guys, let's get into it right now. Claudia is still in studio with us, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. Got your mics up, guys. So we have a few minutes here before we get into it. We have about 2 now. We have probably 5-6 minutes. We'll get into it with the folks from Slocum-Dixon. It's our Slocum-Dixon medical moment. But Congresswoman Claudia Tenney in studio with us. And before we went to the break, I was teasing a little bit yourself and John Faso sending out a letter urging the president to support the request for a major disaster declaration, and that is in the response to the flooding in August that caused some damage, and that was the heavy rainfall we experienced throughout upstate New York. And you did get an answer on that, correct?
Yes, we did. And actually, we finally got that. We're still pushing. I think most of this covers the southern tier. We need to deal with the Mohawk Valley.
Sure. Broome, Shenango,
we're still fighting for that. Hopefully that will happen. We've also been working with the village of Ilion on trying to resolve the water issues there.
I know.
And it's a real disaster. But we've been traveling all across the district and announcing and dealing and giving out grants for a number of different initiatives. The president actually upped the amount of money for rural water. Resources went from, I think it was $1.8 billion to over $5 billion. So we are trying to get as many resources to our region as we can. We do have a lot of abundant water, but in some cases we don't have potable drinking water, and also we don't have, in some cases, water systems where we can have the pressure that we need to provide to get to the various homes. So we've been, whether it's rural water or even in some of the cities and areas like Endicott and places like that, we're working really hard to get clean drinking water to everyone.
Do those grants have to be approved by Congress? Can he do that on his own, or does it have to be approved?
When they go through the process, it depends on where the money's coming from. If it's coming from USDA, which is through the executive, or it's coming from what we use other grants that are already appropriated funds. So most of the money that the governor or that the president is allotting is coming from new sources, but we also are receiving a lot of grants and money for people that is already unappropriated funds, so there's no new spending, which I really like, because I don't think we need to find ways to trim spending. And so that's what we've been doing with a lot of the water resources, is applying for grants using the Congressional Research Service. We urge municipalities, they apply for the grant, and then we write a letter of support.
When you say we, you mean your office?
My office writes a letter of support, and it's within our district. That's how the process works. And if they get accepted, they get the grants. We do that for a number of issues. I think we're over 60 fire departments have come through us and applied for grants that we found for them,
so
and
we've
approved.
Already been allocated.
Yes,
money for that purpose. Now it's a matter of applying for it and getting approved.
Right, and getting that. And we've been. My office has been very aggressive in doing that. As I said, I think we have over 60 fire department grants that have gone to municipal fire departments, whether they're volunteer or paid, and then we are scouring everywhere. Utica City School District has been applying, a number of different school districts around the region, local governments, water systems, you name it. We are looking for every allocated fund or appropriated fund is really the proper term that we can find to bring to us.
Before you run out of time, we wanted to, so that's all right, just trying to move it along quickly.
I know you don't want to talk about water, but it's really important.
No, it is important, but we talked about it. But I want to bring this up because it was something in the news. We did have a text message that asked us to see what your reaction was to this AARP poll that came out in New York recently, showing that among 610 registered voters age 50 or older, between Anthony Brindisi and yourself, in the district, gives Brindisi a lead of 48% of those voters over your percentage of 35%. So essentially 48% to 35%. And among independents, he's got 51% over your 29%. So, of course, those, just to be clear again, those are 50 years old or older. But what's your reaction to that poll?
Well, look, AARP starts advocating for people. I know when I was 47, I was inundated with AARP. I still get... I won't join AARP. I don't agree with what they do. They support Medicare for all. They support government-run health care, which would bankrupt this country, which would reduce our access to health care, would allow illegal immigrants to take health care over our tax-paying, hardworking citizens. AARP is a very powerful democratic political organization that has a very aggressive enrollment campaign to get people to enroll. And quite frankly, they have a political agenda which is not helpful. I think it hurts our communities. I refused to join, and partially because they started going after me when I was 47 and I wasn't eligible till I was 50. But I just don't agree with their agenda. I mean, they're a left-leaning organization that has done nothing to help us. They've empowered insurance companies through the Affordable Health Care, which we need to put insurance companies in check. They've empowered drug companies. We need to put them in check. I mean, they do the opposite because they're a mercenary organization that's out to make money off of senior citizens. So a lot of senior citizens, unfortunately, buy into what they have to sell. It's too bad. They take advantage of them, I think. I urged my mother, my parents not to join, and they didn't.
Congresswoman Claudia Tenney joining us here on the Talk of the Town. We're going to step aside, take a breather. We're going to get in our Slocum-Dixon medical moment. The Congresswoman can stick around and join us after that. You can stick around throughout the whole morning. We have a whole list of papers, believe me.
To run to right now?
We got a whole list of papers. We got some coffee. We can fill up your mug there, and we can get back into it if you want. It's the Talk of the Town, Talk 100.7 FM. Jason Aiello, Rocco LaDuca, Mark Wilbur, and Alex is in the production booth. 624-0870 is the number to reach us.
Hey, do you hear that? It's almost time to stuff the bus. Last year